welcome to the Enterprise World Magazine. Today's guest is a visionary leader transforming healthcare and nutrition in Africa. Through Avoveg Health Kenya Limited, he is pioneering solutions that bridge agriculture, health, and innovation, bringing safe, sustainable, and affordable nutrition products to communities. By combining local expertise with the global standards, he is championing a future where food is not just of sustenance but a powerful tool for preventive healthcare and economic growth. Please join me in welcoming one of the most influential leaders of 2025 making a difference, Mr. Nathan Dungu Lloyd, Chairman and CEO of Aggoveg Health Kenya Limited. Welcome, Nathan. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, it's an absolute honor to have you with us. So let's begin with your journey. So what inspired you to establish Aggoveg Health Kenya Limited? And also, how has your vision for combining agriculture and healthcare taken shape?
Yes, again, my name is Nathan Lloyd. I'm CEO and Chairman of Avoveg. Looking at, I always believe that the solution is in the problem. So the solution is in the problem goes on to the level of, that's what inspired me. When I looked at the challenges we face in Kenya, we also have Avoveg head office now in the USA, and the processing plant of Avoveg is in Kenya. So I looked at the challenge of wastage of food in Kenya specifically that goes due to spoilage. And so that's what inspired me, looking at seeing the problem. And as an entrepreneur, the light bulb in my head went on and saying, we have to find a solution. And the solution, one of the solutions that we are tying down and closing this 2025 is going into value add, where we'll be importing both avocado oil and guacamole into the USA. So we are what we eat. What we eat, our food, and eating healthy food, the advantage we have in Kenya is all our food, and avocado specifically, are all organic. So we are what we eat. So what we eat turns into the health of how we feel and how we end up taking care of our health. So that's the interconnection, and seeing the solution is in the problem. So we saw the problem in terms of food wastage and seeing the lack of dynamic entrepreneurs moving into value add, which Avoveg is spearheading this, and will be the first out of Kenya, out of Africa, to import both guacamole and avocado oil into the US market, as our coming soon, starting in January 2026. Thank you.
That's excellent. As your company is positioned at the intersection of food and health, as you just explained in this answer, how do you see nutrition playing a role in preventive healthcare for Africa and beyond?
Food will play for preventive healthcare, because going back to we are what we eat. So eating, for example, the avocado is cholesterol free, so it helps lower our cholesterol. By lowering our cholesterol, we end up being healthier. It is the major superfruit that we have. Avocados are used for assorted. We nowadays even have avocado chocolate. We have avocado milkshakes. We have avocado used for beauty and cosmetics. So going back to we are what we eat means that it has a direct role in what, going back to as our ancestors did back in the days, eating healthy and eating naturally and eating from the not processed. And this is all natural. Even our guacamole and the avocado oil will all be organic.
That's wonderful. So definitely, starting from Kenya, starting a business in Kenya, you might have faced a lot of, challenges. So what were some of your biggest challenges that you faced while building Aggoveg? And also whether it was market adaptation, funding, or navigating healthcare regulations, what were your primarily and biggest challenges?
One of our biggest challenges in Kenya, being half Kenyan, half American, one of the biggest challenges is that our banks do not understand the dynamics in terms of having a little bit of patience, giving the specific company, okay, in this case, Avoveg, enough time to be able to stabilize, import the machines. So I always say that the owners or the CEOs of banks should first, one of their pre-qualifications should not be about have they graduated. They should have a qualification. Are they entrepreneurs? Do they think like a businessman, businesswoman? Are they entrepreneurs? Because the lack of that depth of understanding holds back that they will only be loaning funds out just to loan funds out without understanding the dynamics. And it's a short-lived process where the focus is more on loan money and then see how to the businesses go belly up within 1 year, just because the bank owners and the CEOs do not understand the dynamics of the agri sector. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Second one, more recently, is that 2024 would be the conflict in the Red Sea. With that geopolitical conflict in the Red Sea has created us an issue where our transit routes are blocked. So we are unable to ship, increasing our transit time from 25 days going around South Africa into Europe with our fresh avocados. Now it's taking 45 days, yet the shelf life of the avocado is 45 days. So that creates a lot of quality challenges.
Yes, I think that's very well explained. So when you work in the food industry, sustainability is a very big measure for you. So it's like a growing priority worldwide for food businesses. So how does Aggoveg integrate sustainability in farming, production and distribution, or also in its core business strategy?
That's integrated with our farmers, because we have spread out over Kenya more than 2,000 farmers. So we do that where we have our agronomists, we have the training of our farmers, how to grow the avocados, how to take care, and the husbandry, how to make sure that the trees are growing healthy, how to keep everything organic. We have a lot of bonding time with our farmers and our team members to be able to. We bring them over to the plant at Avoveg to be able to see how we do our processing, how we do our packing, so that they can get to understand what we do on our end, for them to understand what makes a quality avocado, one fruit at a time. So to be able to do that. And then the other sustainability will be, we have about 30% of our avocados do not meet export quality, and nationwide as a country in Kenya, not because there's anything wrong with the flesh of the avocado, but because of what you call an optical check. The optical check is the avocado is sunburnt or has a scar on it. So what we do there is going back to the solutions and the problem, I was like, so what we do with the 30%, Kenya is losing 60 million Kenyan shillings, 60 million US dollars, not shillings, per year on those. So that's why Avoveg has been strategic and going into value add. So the 30% that does not meet the fresh produce line will automatically go into our oil line, avocado oil line, and the guacamole line. So that's how we'll keep sustainable, by making sure that from the current 30%, we're going to target to take that down to less than 1%.
Yeah, I think you're making maximum use of all of the avocados right there, and it's very, very well executed plan out there. So as you mentioned that you're also delivering in America, right? So partnerships are very critical in scaling impact like globally. So how does Aggoveg work with farmers, healthcare providers and policymakers to create a strong ecosystem globally?
Yes, we are working with dynamic partners and investors that are joining Avoveg. That's why we strategically set up Avoveg head office in the US in 2024. So, but we're making sure that we get the right investors. That it's not only about the capital; it's also understanding the depth and one who can think globally. So always match with those on the same mission as you are. So by doing that, we are getting the right partners to be able to. And then the other steps that we are taking is making sure that we lead by example. You see, there are a lot of people who talk and no action. A firm believer as a CEO, where I lead by example. With the value add and the guacamole, just to make myself clear, and our coming soon. We will start the importation into the US early 2026. That's in the pipeline and plan. So that's when we're going to start doing that. But by leading by example, not that I'll start saying, this is what I'm going to do or going to do. We actually do it. You don't wait for perfection. You get going and you execute, and learn as you go.
Yeah, that's superb right there. So looking back at your own leadership journey, what was your most defining moment that shaped your vision for Aggoveg and its mission?
Wow, most defining moments. There've been quite a few. Most defining, to be able to see a challenge and use the challenge into an opportunity. So, for example, to see the challenge that the bankers in Kenya don't get it. So we no longer borrow funds in Kenya, we borrow now from the US. That would be one of the biggest challenges, because you start a journey with the wrong financial partner, you're just doomed to fail. So to be able to pivot and see from that, but that I would say has been the biggest challenge, dealing with financial institutions that are up to no good.
Yes, right. This brings us to the end of the segment 1. So we'll move to the segment 2, which is the rapid fire round. So quickly, you'll have to answer for us some questions, Nathan. What is the most underrated superfood that's grown in Africa?
Avocados.
Yes, of course.
Avocados is the most unknown superfruit. Even the time we have just come through the epidemic, the avocado fruit was one of the best fruits, including myself and all our team. It's not the apple a day that keeps the doctor away. It was actually the avocado, because it changes the pH balance in our bellies. So by that was able to also mitigate and help us fight COVID a lot better. So absolutely the avocado.
Yeah, avocados are the new apples, I would say so. So what is the biggest misconception about nutrition and healthcare today?
Biggest misconception is thinking that, going back a little bit on what I had said earlier, is the misconception is we think that what we eat, it catches up to us if we eat processed foods and all that. So the biggest misconception is thinking, I'll only do it today, I'll only do it tomorrow. But it adds up. So that habit builds into a bad habit. Misconception is we really are what we eat. So that is the direct connection. Some, of course, focusing on just fast food, but you have to eat healthy. This is one life that we have. There's no dress rehearsal. We're not coming back for part 2. So that would be what I'd say.
Yes, healthy eating is a must, definitely. So one sector where agriculture and healthcare must urgently collaborate.
Healthcare and they must work hand in hand in terms of knowing that with the healthcare is connected to what we eat. So they must work hand in hand to be able to understand it from the entrepreneurial side, the ones who are also venturing into these value adds and knowing the values, connecting both the two, the science behind it and joining hands together.
That's well said. So what is that one Kenyan startup you think people should watch in the healthcare and agricultural space?
It's going to be going big in agriculture. We have several small-scale farms in Kenya, but going big, you can't go wrong. Going big in the avocado sector, the globe, the world at large is focused more on our health. That's the direction that we are going. So if we're focused more on health, that means you have to go back to the farms. If you have 1 acre, go to 10. If you have 10, go to 20, go to 30, because you can't go wrong. The demand is increasing, population is increasing. So I would say go big in the agri sector, especially avocados.
Yes. So faster growth in the next 5 years, where is it coming from? Plant-based nutrition or biotech-driven supplements?
It's more plant-based for sure.
Yes, right. So what is the biggest barrier to making healthy food accessible to everyone? Because definitely when you think of healthy, people think that it's not affordable, it's very expensive. So how do you make it affordable and accessible to everybody?
You make it affordable by utilizing every single bit, in this case, the avocado. If you have 30% that's going to reject, then we will increase our prices when the fact that we could only process 70% out of the 100. So by reducing on wastage and becoming more efficient, we're also going to go into avocado powder. So that's why I'm saying the current 30%, our target for by 2026 will be down to 1%.
Yes, right. So if you would solve one health challenge in Africa with nutrition innovation, what it would be?
Obesity.
Yeah, well said right there. So this brings us to the end of the second segment. So we'll quickly move on to the third segment. So this is about advice to the aspiring leaders. So Nathan, what is your one key piece of advice for young professionals who want to build impactful businesses at the intersection of health, nutrition, and sustainability, but also feel daunted by the scale of the challenges?
Never give up. Never give up is key. And as in one of my books, I'm also an author of my book, My Successful Failures. So my successful failure is positive, but for the young generation, they tend to think of so-and-so has failed. I would always sit down with somebody who has failed 100 times, because I've failed 1,000 times. So the value of growth from failure, we learn the lesson from our failures, if we choose to. So I would say that, and focus on who you're getting advice from. If you're seeking advice in the entrepreneurial world, don't go and speak to a pastor. A pastor does not have entrepreneurial experience. So the writer, and I do offer mentorship and leadership advice in my different platforms. So I would say never give up. Always know the solutions in the problem, and who you seek your advice from is very key.
Yeah, I think that's a classic advice right there. Never give up. And also failures are our biggest lessons. So yeah, wise advice and wisdom right there. True wisdom right there. Yeah, we'll tune into the next segment, which is the last and final segment. So looking ahead in 2025 and beyond, what major breakthroughs do you foresee in African health and nutrition landscape?
Major breakthroughs will be like one that we are working on the one for going into the value add. We are processing the guacamole using natural methods, using high pressure processing. So there's no heating, there's no freezing. So we're keeping it all from the rich soils in Kenya all the way to the tabletops of our American customers. We're keeping it natural and healthy all through.
Yeah, that's great. Yes. So also, how will Aggoveg Health Kenya Limited continue shaping conversations and collaborations that drive a healthier and more sustainable future?
We'll keep being the pioneers. We'll keep leading from the front. We'll keep offering advice. So we'll lead by example. We'll lead with action, not with words, which is what we're doing, and we'll keep at that. We'll keep doing our research. We'll keep doing our growth. We'll keep doing my personal reading. So I'll keep on growing from and understanding, and always knowing that the solution is in the problem.
Yes, that's fabulous right there, and definitely you guys are going to be the benchmark in the avocado growing Kenya's industry. So yeah, I wish you all the best for that. So yeah, Nathan, this brings us to the end of the interview. But before we say goodbye, I'll give you a small vote of thanks. So thank you so much for sharing with us your journey, your vision for transforming health through nutrition. I think your story highlights the vital role of leadership, innovation, and community in solving some of the world's most pressing health challenges. So to all of our viewers of Enterprise World magazine, we will be back with more conversation highlighting leaders who are driving the future of health, business, and innovation right here on the Enterprise World magazine. So thank you so much, Nathan, for your time and effort for this interview with us today. I wish you all the best with your role and with your company, and I hope that you continue to ship your products worldwide, and someday I get to try it too.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye. Take care and have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You too.
Yes. Bye. Thank you so much.